I end up going all in. This guy is confused. He's like, did he say all in or did he just call? I'm like, no, I said all in. He ends up just like mucking right away. I was like, what? I was mind blown. I've never seen that shit in my life. He snaps me. He snap calls me. I'm like, fuck. He has queens or something. I'm dead. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So yeah, I guess you can say I'm playing the World Series of Poker main event, which is $10,000 buy-in for absolutely free. What's up guys, my name is Shem Golds and it's been a while. How you guys doing? I've got some really exciting news. I'm gonna keep it short and sweet though, because tomorrow, or I guess technically today, it's gonna be a pretty big day. If you don't know, well, you can tell from the title of the video, I'm gonna be playing my first ever World Series of Poker $10,000 main event. That is by far the biggest tournament I've ever played in my life, like maybe 3 times the buy-in. No, I did not intend or even dream of playing it in my first ever World Series of Poker, especially after a month of grinding and results not really being that great. But you know, as corny as it may sound, I believe that everything happens for a reason, and I went through a month of torture just to end with a great ending. You literally cannot make this up. One day before I'm leaving Las Vegas and not planning to come back, this guy on Twitter that I didn't even know who he was, he goes by the name Benz. Shout out to him, by the way. He gave out a lot of money during his trip to Vegas. And he posted on Twitter, he was like, I'm gonna pick 20 people to compete in a last longer challenge for a main event seat. I didn't know who he was, but I was like, fuck it, you know, why not? He said that he will give each person $200 to join a tournament at one of the casinos, and the last person standing will win the seat. So really, you have nothing to lose here. I basically replied and he chose me, which is already pretty lucky. So I'm pretty skeptical about the whole thing, but I end up, you know, Ubering to the place. It's pretty close to my Airbnb. I end up Ubering over there and I meet him and I show him that it's me, and he actually gives me $200 cash to register at the tournament. It's a $200 nightly at the Orleans, and besides the 20 of us that were playing, overall it came down to like 300 people, so a pretty big field for, you know, like a nightly turbo kind of tournament. I started out very well. Actually, I think the first hand that I played, I doubled up, and we started with like 25 grand chips at like 100, 200, so over 100 big blinds. I won't bore you with the details, but for those who are interested, basically I opened 6-5 suited from like under +2. I get a few quarters as well in the big blind. The flop was 8-7-3 with a flush draw. I bet like a third, I get a caller, and the big blind check raises. I call, turn is a 6, he bets half pot, which is pretty disgusting, but I end up making the call. River is a 9, so we hit the lower bottom of the straight. He basically goes all in. I do think about it for like a minute, but I think I'm too high up in my range to call, and he shows Queen 3 with like a missed flush draw, so pretty sick bluff on his end. We just got lucky on the river and we doubled up. But then luck was really not in my favor. I got it all in with 9s against 7s. All in pre-flop, I lost it. He hits a 7 on the flop. It was actually a crazy fucking table. 7s beat 9s pre-flop all in, aces pre-flop all in. Some guy hit quad 7 on the flop and beat jacks all in on the flop. 7s just like kept beating everything. It was insane. I've never seen something like that in my life, and I'm not like superstitious or anything, but it was insane. Like, I'd rather have gotten 7s in that table than aces. So I get very unlucky in a few spots, and I'm down to like a really small amount of chips, like maybe 10 big blinds. Then this hand is pretty crazy again with a 7. I think there was a raise and a few callers, or maybe a limp and a few callers. I'm in the big blind with Jack 7 suited. The flop is like 10-8 something, 10-8-3, it goes checks around. Turn is a 7, and I'm really like pot size. I think I had like very short stack, around the same as the pot. So when everybody checks around, I'm like, I figured I'm good, or I have enough equity because I have a pair and a gut shot as well, so I go all in. The last guy to act calls me. I'm like, fuck, that you have a pair? He's like, yes. He shows 9-8, which is really bad. I'm basically drawing to 2 7s and 3 9s, so that's 5 outs, which comes out down to 10% with 1 card to come. And as you guessed it, the river is another 7. So the 7 just went flying around. That was a crazy table. I've never seen something like that, but we're still alive barely. Anyway, long story short, I keep battling. I keep, you know, hyper focused, trying to play the best that I can, but I'm just short as fuck. Really, until the money bubble, playing around 10 to 6 big blinds, I was always the shortest stack. Nothing was going my way. I just was barely getting by. Then literally one person before the money, I think we were down to like 29 and 28 getting paid, which by the way, I was also really trying to make it to the money because I had a really bad series the whole month and I was just losing money, and it was important to me to make even some money back. And considering I got $200 for free, you know, mean cashing for 400, all of a sudden it's like making $400 for free. So it was a lot more in stake. Before we get into the juicy part of the video that I know you guys want to see based on the title, I just want to give a quick shout out to Tropicana Resorts and Casino, and special shout out to Arik, who hooked me up with an insane suite for the main event. I was in Las Vegas a few months ago and I stayed here, and my experience wasn't very pleasant, and I complained to the CEO, and I can say without doubt they have the best customer support out of anyone that I've ever seen. They replied with an amazing message and basically hooked me up with 5 nights of this suite for completely free of charge. So guys, I can't recommend this enough. For me, something that's really important is customer support and customer service, and they've got the best in the game without doubt. It doesn't even come close. Like, I've complained a lot of times in my life for, like, you know, reasons that are fair, and I'm not like someone who does it like purposely or, you know, to be greedy or to be that kind of guy. And I can tell you that I've never got such amazing compensation from anyone like they have treated me. So this is just like a free shout out promotion to them. If you go to Vegas, I really highly suggest you check them out. Anyway, back into the story. There's a few short stacks, one person away from the money. I'm very short, around like, I don't know, 4 to 6 big blinds, and I'm on the big blind. This guy in the cutoff almost goes all in for like 3 big blinds. He leaves 1 chip behind. And we are on the exact bubble here. It falls to me in the big blind. I have Queen 8 offsuit. Now, if I call to this guy and I lose, I become one of the shortest stacks with like maybe 2 big blinds. But at the same time, I just figured that it's probably good enough. So I was tanking for a long time, doing calculations in my hand. I figured that even if I lose this all in, I can probably still make the money, and I was playing for the win to try to win the main event seat. I end up going all in. This guy is confused. He's like, did he say all in or did he just call? I'm like, no, I said all in. He ends up just like mucking right away. I was like, what? I was mind blown. I've never seen that shit in my life. He just committed 99% of his stack and just folded with 1 chip remaining for whatever reason. I don't know what. He said he had 7 deuce offsuit and he was trying to steal. I was like, what the fuck? Everybody was so confused. I was confused. I've never seen this before in my life. Anyway, I mean, good ending. I make it to the money. He makes it to the money. So I guess everybody's happy, but that was just very unnecessary in my eyes. Then another miracle happens, guys. Right before I'm about to be in the big blind, after we made the money with like 4 big blinds, so half of my stack would have been committed, I tried to slow play because we need people in our table. We are very short on players, and we get someone sitting on under the gun right before we get dealt to the next hand. So I actually get saved and I get another extra hand to play before I'm committed half my stack, which works out amazingly because the first card that I peel is an ace, and that's more than enough to go all in, especially once we're in the money. So I go all in, I get called. The guy shows first. He has king queen off. He obviously covers me, so I know I'm ahead. I have ace 4 suited and I win. Then I win some more hands, you know, nothing too interesting. Then we get to a point where this very lucky guy goes all in. This lady in the competition, I believed at the time was just me and her, goes all in, and I have pocket 8s in the small blind. You have to understand that everybody is super short, and I wanted to knock her out to win the competition, so I contemplate about it. I go all in. She has 7s, which is very not good for me. Obviously, I'm dominating 7s, but you know, with everything, the history that happened in the tournament, 7s are pretty scary to me. And the lucky guy that kept winning and cracked kings and did some crazy stuff, he had 9-10 suited, which is insane. It's like a fake flip, meaning he's in a pretty good position after 2 callers. Anyway, we see 8 in the window followed by a 10. The turn is so fucking spicy. It's a 9, so everybody can still win. 7s have an open-ended, meaning they need a 6 or a jack to hit a straight. I'm still in the lead with a set, but the 9 and a 10 can still hit a better, you know, full house. So I was very focused. I really wanted to win this one, and we end up winning it. It was such a crucial spot. But unfortunately, that point I realized there's one more person at the other table who is in the competition as well, and we are like down to the final 2 tables. So at that point, I'm in a much more comfortable spot. I actually have more than average now for once in the tournament. We get to a very interesting spot that I wasn't really happy about, but it ended up working for the best. Everybody is super tight at this point. Obviously, we are starting to get, more and more money as more people bust. So there's huge ICM at stake. I think we're like final 14, and this guy opens under the gun like almost 3x. Now, we are like 6-handed, or 7-handed, but it's still pretty strong. I defend ace-7 suited in the big blind with like maybe 30 big blinds, maybe 25 or so. The flop comes 5-7-5 rainbow. I check, and he bets like half pot, which is pretty big. At this point, I just believed in the sevens, and I believed that I just had to go all in here. It seemed pretty scary to me because it seemed like he might have an overpair. And we are down to like the final person at the other table for the competition for the main event seat, which is obviously 10K. It's a big one. It's more than the first place prize. And that's why I was very contemplating what to do here, because I had more than the other guy and I didn't want to bust him before him. But I was also playing for the win, and I ended up going all in with like 450K, but the guy actually covers me. He's the chip leader at the table and I'm the second. He snaps me. He snap calls me. I'm like, fuck, he has queens or something. I'm dead. I show my hand, and like the first response that I hear from him is like, fuck, I put you on a bluff. And he shows ace-8 offsuit. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I think the guy was just like on tilt because he was very cold and he just didn't want to be here anymore, and he just put me on a bluff. He thought I was bluffing. I don't know, but that's the best case scenario scene. I mean, I still, had to fade an 8, but it was one of the best case scenarios when I literally get snapped in that spot. And then to make things even better, I river a 7. So if he had queens, we would have got lucky again, which kind of would have been more sweet, but I'll take it. I mean, I don't know what the fuck he was doing. That was a massive punt on his behalf and was worth so much fucking money. Long story short, we get to the final table. It's me and him. We end up trading 5% of each other, so whoever wins at least have a sweat of one another. I come in as the chip leader, as you can see, with like maybe 2.7 million in chips, with like only 7.2 in play. I think I had like 45 big blinds when the average is less than 20. Literally, I just start like annihilating the table. First hand, I think I shoved 9-8 suited in the button against 2 smaller stacks. I get snap called by like queen 10 off, and I river it. Then I keep knocking people out. Literally, I keep knocking people out one by one. I think I knocked out everybody on the table. The sweetest knockout of them all is when the guy went all in, and I had ace queen off, and I called him, and I won, and that was it. We shook hands, and I won the bet. I won the 10K main event seat, and that was just a crazy feeling. But the job wasn't done yet. We were down to like 5-handed, and I still needed to win the tournament with like half of chips in play. There was a big cooler going my way with queens against jacks, and then I actually lost a big one with aces against river straight. So I won't bore you with any more details. Basically, I ended up doing an ICM deal 3-handed as the chip leader for like $7,000 on top of winning the main event seat for 10K. So that's overall a $17,000 result, which is one of my biggest, if not my biggest. So that was pretty good. And guys, I can't stress this enough. I know it's cringy, I know it's corny, but everything happens for a reason. The whole month I was getting annihilated. I was losing money. That was literally the last tournament I was gonna play. I wasn't even intending on playing it, but God wanted me to play it. And one day before leaving Las Vegas, I played it, and not only I played it, I won, which made me break even for the whole series, and I get to play the main event. So it's just crazy. I'm super blessed. I'm super grateful for the opportunity. The next day I meet him and he gives me the money in cash, which is a lot. I felt like a fucking drug dealer. I felt like I'm gonna get robbed. I don't really like having so much cash on me for obvious reasons. Unfortunately, in the poker world, you kind of have to have it to register to tournaments and that kind of stuff. So what I did was I deposited it straight into my bank. I flew to a wedding that I promised I'll be there for in Rhode Island, and then I booked my place to be back in Las Vegas, which I didn't intend on doing, but it happened. I'm not gonna lie, it was a surreal moment going to my bank and withdrawing $10,000 cash and holding it. Like, I've never really done that in my life. And then also giving that amount of cash for like this paper right here, which guarantees me the seat for the main event tomorrow, or I guess today, in like 10 hours time. So yeah, I guess you can say I'm playing the World Series of Poker main event, which is $10,000 buy-in for absolutely free. It's insane. Like, it's such a surreal moment. I remember when I was like a kid watching the World Series of Poker main event on ESPN and just, hoping that one day I'll play it, and it's happening right now on my first World Series of Poker series that I'm ever playing as well. It's so insane to me. I'm feeling really good. I'm feeling very ready. I studied a lot. I took the time off study and prepare and do the best I can to be ready for this day. That being said, I'm not coming in with any expectations, really. I'm just gonna play my best, and I'm gonna adjust accordingly to the structure. It's a very long structure, 2-hour levels. So there's no need to go insane and do crazy bluffs or anything like that, which I have done in the past. Anyway, guys, it's getting late. It's like almost 2 a.m. I had a nap, so that's why I'm still awake. But day 1C is starting at 12 p.m. So I gotta go to sleep soon. I just wanted to keep you guys in the loop and update you. I want to update you throughout my whole WSOP main event run. I'm not going to be recording any hands at the table, but I will note all the interesting hands that I play, and we will have some interesting videos to come. Honestly, guys, this will be such an insane fucking dream run, but I'm coming in with no expectations, just to play my best, be focused, you know, look at people. I really am big on body tells and that kind of stuff as well, so I'm gonna try and pay attention to as much as possible. I'm not gonna listen to music. I'm rarely gonna be on my phone unless I'm writing down hand history notes, and that's basically it. That's the plan for tomorrow. I want to thank again Ben Spence for this opportunity. I hope to make you a lot of money. I hope to make us a lot of money. I hope I'm gonna create some amazing content for you guys, and let's fucking do this. I'm gonna try my best to win, but if not, then even a min cash. Honestly, a min cash would be more than enough for me. It would be my biggest score, and I'm not greedy. I'll take a min cash, but after that, we're going for the win. So I guess step number 1 will be to make it to day 2, and step number 2 would make it into the money, and then the rest is cherry on the top for me. All right, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.